This artist is in court and could get the death penalty for killing 2 people. This person died from being stabbed in the jail bathroom. These are the rappers who might never be seen on the streets again. Let's start with the money sign. Suede, the young blood who got caught up in the system and never made it out, blew up with tracks like Back to the Bag, putting him on the map in 2020. The kid was throwing heat, releasing his self-titled EP and debut album, Parkside Baby, in 2022. He was on his way to the top, repping his hood and living that rapper life. But then here's where it got Suede caught a case for some gun charges in Riverside County. Now we all know how it goes down in the streets. You got to stay strapped, but the system doesn't play, and they hit him with a 32-month bid. So there he was, locked up in Soledad, surrounded by all kinds of cats who aren't too fond of up-and-coming singers. Word is, Suede was keeping it cool. Nicholas Rosenberg, his lawyer, said that people are very shocked while he was in jail and taking care of himself. He was a popular guy, very mild-mannered. People loved him, but prison politics don't give a damn about your Billboard charts or your IG fans. 3 hit the fan on April 25th, 2020. They found Suede bleeding out in the shower area. Someone had hit him in the neck. They tried to save MoneySign Suede, but it was too late. He was only 22 years old.
This was Suede's car. This is a car he had. It was really beautiful.
The bag chaser was in the same jail, in the same place, but on different floors. Bravo on how the situation was at the exact time, and Suede's killing said,
"Hell yeah, that dude was crazy." I'm like, man, I heard about that, right? I was on the toilet, right? Somebody come and tell me, they're like, oh, you know? I'm like, man, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit. You're like, oh no. I'm like, bro, like, I'm getting mad because, you know, I hear rumors about rappers all day, every time. So I'm like, it's just a rumor.
Yeah.
But was it really just a story? Or was there more to it? Bravo chose to make a call to find out.
Phone, I call my boy, and first thing he says is like, bro. I was like, oh, I just knew when he said bro. I was like, damn, yeah,
that's rough.
I was like, what you mean, like he alive though? Like, no. I was like, damn, that it didn't feel real to me.
Some fans are throwing out ideas about why Suede got hit. Check out this insightful message from a user on YouTube. This fan saying Suede might have been seen as a mayatero, a race traitor in the joint. That kind of rep can get you green-lighted quickly. Prison isn't just about doing time. It's a whole different world with its own rules and politics. This one believes. Suede didn't behave in jail. He said he didn't want to fall in line. Everyone thinks they're their own man in there, but it's a network you must abide by. Not only the fans, but also Suede's friend had things to say.
Oh man, it's your boy Lay Shark. I got some new updates on MoneySign Suede, man.
Among the stories floating about Money's sign, Suede's tragic end, as seen, this friend of his recently shared some chilling details on TikTok Live, suggesting that Suede might have had a premonition of his fate. The friend recalled how Suede had sent a letter to his girlfriend before his death, expressing concern about growing tensions with other inmates.
So, apparently, MoneySign Suede sent his girl a letter where he was saying that the homies were hating on him in prison, and he told his girl in his last letter that if he didn't make it, he'll be waiting for her up there.
In the letter, Suede allegedly mentioned feeling that his time might be running out and reassured his girlfriend that if he didn't make it, he would be waiting for her in heaven.
This is a letter right here, man. I'm about to read it out to y'all real quick, man. So the letter starts out, it says, "Hey, my love, I got transferred to CTF State Prison in Soledad, California on Thursday, March 30th. I guess the hole was packed over here, so they brought me to the hole right here. It was like 30 of us that got sent here. I wish I was able to call you to let you know I'm still in the hole and I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be here."
This discovery adds a haunting layer to a story emphasizing how the pressures and dangers of prison life can weigh heavily on those behind bars. What sets Money Suede's case apart is the controversy surrounding his death in jail. The young rapper's life was cut short just as his career was taking off, raising questions about the safety of jailed artists. His death sparked debates about jail reform and the vulnerability of high-profile inmates, fellow artists including Maisie and Blue Bucks. Clan paid tribute to Suede, highlighting the mark he had made in his short time in the spotlight. The incident also shed light on the ongoing problems of gang violence within the California prison system, spurring calls for increased security measures and better protection for inmates. As for who did Suede dirty, the cops are still looking. No suspect has been named yet, but you know how it goes in prison. Snitches get stitches, so finding the killer might be harder than finding a clean toilet in county. All in all, Suede's influence still lives on in the heads of friends, family, and fans.
I encourage you to hold on to Jaime's memory. How do you do that? You remember his laugh, you remember his love. You hold on to the positive and the negative because that's what bonded you to Jaime. Hold on to that memory and share it with each and every member of the family, each and every one of the friends. That's how you honor his legacy.
While MoneySign Suede's life was cut tragically short in jail, our next artist managed to make headlines from both sides of the bars. Next up is Tay-K, another young blood who went from spitting bars to behind bars faster than you can say the race. Tay-K was just another kid from Arlington, Texas, trying to make it in the rap game. He started off with his homies and the Daytona Boys, dropping tracks on SoundCloud back in 2014. But Tay-K wasn't about to play it safe. He was living that life he was singing about. And in 2016, it hit the fan. Tay-K got caught up in a home invasion that left 21-year-old Ethan Walker dead. The Fed hit him with a capital murder charge, but Tay-K wasn't about to go down without a fight. While on house arrest, this crazy boy cut off his ankle monitor and did what he did to the race. Tay-K went on the run, dropping his hit track, The Race, while avoiding the cops. Talk about life inspiring in art, but you can't outrun the long arm of the law forever. After 3 months of playing hide-and-seek with the feds, Tay-K got scooped up in Elizabeth, New Jersey. The same day they caught him, The Race dropped on YouTube. Talk about great timing. In the courtroom, the prosecution wasn't planned. They used Tay-K's own songs against him, turning The Race into Exhibit A. The judge wasn't bumping to Tay-K's flow. He hit him with 55 years in the pen. Now Tay-K is doing his time in Bezar County Jail, San Antonio. He's been locked up since June 30th, 2017. That's over 1,960 days and counting. But the story isn't over. Tay-K is still facing another murder charge for reportedly popping a photographer for his equipment. Tay-K's life is a cold warning that the street life ain't no game. He went from The Race to racing against time, hoping for release after 27 years. It's not normal for girls to stick around their boys in problems like these. That's why Tay-K's girl came out as royal, but rapper Bossy Bads had comments on what she said.
Girlfriend said that she's sticking by him. He's got 55 years. Like, she's like 20 or something. I don't know.
Man, they say that until the right person comes along.
Tay-K's race may have chronicled his time on the run, but our next rapper's street image preceded his lyrical prowess. D-Rose 600, born in '96, this black student from the 600 set was repping hard on the South Side. Rap history has it that D-Rose 600 was a Chicago street star before he even touched the mic. D-Rose wasn't just another face in the crowd. Chief Keef put him on the map, name-dropping him in tracks like John Madden and Love Sosa. The people knew him as a shooter, not a spitter. This cat was linked, cool with sets like THF 46, Folly Boys, and O-Block. But in 2014, things went sideways. D-Rose caught a bullet to the chest, reportedly from Lil B of EBT. When cops took out Lil B later that year, D-Rose wasn't crying tears. February 2014 was the beginning of the end. Big V from Take One World got hit, and the cops put it on Rose. April 28th, they scooped him up even though heads were saying he was with Lemarin that day. The system wasn't hearing it. Fast forward to 2017, the judge dropped the hammer. 40 years in the pen, D-Rose felt the betrayal, saying Dirk and Keef could have posted his mill ticket but left him hanging. Fans are still losing it, heartbroken. On June 12th this year, one posted a tweet calling out the Book of 600 for not taking his jail calls, plus says he's trying to help get a lawyer for 600. D-Rose out there, There are a lot of theories that D. Rose did do the crime he was imprisoned for. Check out 600 Bray's take on this.
You heard of D. Rose. D. Rose is locked up right now for a murder that he didn't even commit. He wasn't even around, just off his name. They found him guilty because people are going to court saying he did it. But truth is, one of our homies that got killed did it. D. Rose didn't do it.
Another fan went ahead and said,
"Man, free D. Rose, bro. If you know, he ain't do that shit, man. They just throwing charges on that shit crazy. Free dog."
Behind bars, D. Rose is still making moves after King Von's passing. He recast himself. V. Rose in tribute. The streets still whisper about his claimed hits, including Lil Jojo and Lil Mark, at 25 with decades left on his bid. D. Rose's story is a sad one. From being shouted out in the best tracks to doing hard time, it's a long fall from the top with D. Rose serving time for a contested murder charge. Let's change our focus to an entire record label caught in the crosshairs of a sweeping RICO case. Young Thug, as all the previous ones, one day he woke up and found himself behind bars. This Atlanta-born Rise slinger was climbing the rap game ladder when the feds chose to play Jenga with his whole crew back in May 2022. Thugger and his YSL squad got hit with a RICO case bigger than a Georgia peach. We're talking 56 counts, including murder and armed robbery. The DA claimed YSL wasn't just a record label, but a full-blown street gang with Thug as the big boss. The trial drama has been wilder than Thug's fashion choices. Prosecutors claimed he was pulling strings from the shadows, even giving the green light for a hit on rival YNW while Lucci was already locked up. Talk about gangsta chess moves. But Thug's legal team isn't backing down. They're fighting tooth and nail, saying the case is built on shaky ground. Meanwhile, the hearing is dragging on longer than one of Thug's ad-libs, becoming the longest in Georgia state history.
Gaither at times. True.
What you mean?
During this time.
Yeah.
And we know that because remember hearing some jail calls yesterday that the district attorney's office played for you, and you even asked Ms. Quarterman or Deschamps to call Detective Gaither on one of those recordings, or two of those recordings. Remember that?
Yes.
While the courtroom drama unfolds, the fans' loyalty and passion for Thug's music stay unshaken. While Thug's been cooling his heels in Fulton County Jail since May 2022, his music, still making waves, his album, Business is Business, dropped straight from the pen, showing you can lock up the man, but not his flow. The whole situation got the hip-hop world shook. Even lawmakers are jumping in the mix. A Republican candidate to the DA vowed to shut down the case if elected. As the hearing rolls on, Young Thug's fate hangs in the balance. Will he beat the chances and return to the stage? Or is this the final verse in the Thugger saga? Only time will tell if he'll be swallowing bars or counting them in the years to come. The ongoing story of Young Thug and YSL has gripped the hip-hop world, but it's not the only high-profile case keeping fans on edge. Melly, a Florida-born rapper whose life took a wild turn faster than his beats dropped, was born Jamal Demons in the 99. This kid was spitting rhymes on SoundCloud by 15, but the streets had other plans for him. Melly's track Murder on My Mind blew up in 2018, ironically predicting the drama that was about to unfold. The song hit number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100, but little did fans know real-life murder charges were waiting around the corner. February 2019 hit different from Melly. Cops scooped him up, charging him with 2 counts of first-degree murder, the victims his own homies from the Y and the W collective. Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr. talk about a plot twist straight out of a crime book. The courtroom became Melly's new stage. His first trial was a mistrial with a hung jury. Now he's facing round 2 with the death sentence on the table. Florida isn't playing. Under Governor Dan Sis's new law, only 8 out of 12 jurors need to agree to send him to death row. Behind Bars Mel's been keeping his name hot. He dropped Melly vs. Melvin in 2019, hitting number 8 on the Billboard 200. But reviewers weren't feeling it, saying it lacked that Melly magic. YNW Melly's lawsuit has become a focal point in discussions about the use of rap lyrics as proof in criminal trials. Here is what the persecutors plan, as said by YNW. Melly's lawyer. Prosecutors have tried to use Melly's songs, particularly Murder on My Mind, as evidence of his alleged crimes, sparking discussion about artistic expression and its interpretation in a legal. The controversy has led to wider discussions about racial bias in the criminal justice system and the targeting of hip-hop artists. Meanwhile, Melly has maintained a large fan base with his music, continuing to gain millions of streams despite his incarceration. As of now, Melly is still locked up, waiting for his retrial in September 2025. From chart-topping hits to possible lethal injection, YNW Melly's story is a good proof of how quickly the game can flip on you. Who's next in our lineup of MCs facing difficult times? C Murder. Back in the 90s, C Murder was living big as part of the No Limit Records empire. Born Corey Miller, this New Orleans native was riding high with his brother, Master P, and Silk the Shocker, dropping platinum records and living the rap star life. This picture hits different now. The killer has been locked up since 2002. Sharing a moment with his daughter, C Murder's tale took a dark turn in 2002 when he caught a case for the murder of 16-year-old Steve Thomas at a bar in January 2002. 16-year-old Steve Thomas, a devoted fan of the rapper C Murder, went to a nightclub in Harvey, Louisiana, hoping to meet his hero. Thomas, who borrowed an older friend's ID and disguised himself with a faux grill to resemble the rap stars he admired, was ecstatic at the chance to see S.E. Murder Lee. However, his excitement quickly turned to horror when he attempted to approach the rapper and was violently beaten by Miller's entourage of at least 15 people, with S.E. Murder himself delivering many of the blows. The situation escalated further when a shot was fired, and witnesses reported Miller furiously asking, "Do you know who the F I am?" The courts weren't playing. They hit him with a life term in 2009, with no chance of parole since then. C Murder's been trying to beat the case from behind bars at the Louisiana State Pen. In 2018, 2 key witnesses flipped the script, saying they were pressured to finger C Murder. But so far, the courts aren't biting. Behind bars, C Murder's been keeping his pen game strong. He's dropped mixtapes and albums from the cell, and even fired off a hate track at 2 Chainz in 2016 for biting his true style. C Murder's case has gotten renewed attention in recent years, thanks in part to advocacy from reality TV star Kim Kardashian. As a reality star, she has become a force in the world of criminal justice change. She is now trying to free the brother of Master P, who is serving a life sentence for the 2002 killing of Steve Thomas. Since his conviction, the 49-year-old rapper, real name Corey Miller, has maintained his innocence, and many think he is the victim of multiple missteps during the case's investigation and his trial. Master P. C. Murder's brother also had something to say as the head in the drive to free his brother.
Y'all have any relative that incarcerated that you know that's ungrateful, then you probably can understand this, especially if you did everything you could do. Like my mom, my dad, my sisters, my brothers, aunties, uncles. I know they've been, them went above and beyond to help my brother.
Fans can't agree less. One answered, "I did 28 years, and I can say you're doing the right thing." P, "I turned my life around, and I'm grateful for my family. I would hear some of the criminals cursing out their own loved ones so they could get money. They've been pushing for a re-examination of his case, claiming new evidence and witness recantations. This has reignited discussions about wrongful convictions and the reliability of eyewitness evidence in high-profile cases." C. Murder. His family and fans are still asking for a new trial, but for now, the man who once rapped about life or death is living out that very theme, trading concert stages for prison yards despite years behind bars. C. Murder's case remains contentious. Mains. In contrast, our next artist's legal problems are just getting started in the harsh environment of New York's drill scene. K Flock, this rap hitmaker, came onto the Bronx drill scene in 2020 like a lit firecracker. This young gun with Dominican and Puerto Rican roots had the streets talking faster than a New York minute. At just 17, K-Flock dropped his debut song, FTO, and the game noticed his raw, gritty style. Drew comparisons to giants like King Vo and Pop Smoke, but just as K-Flock was reaching for the stars, the streets came calling. December 16, 2021, changed everything. What went down outside of Harlem Barbershop is still clouded in debate. The official story is that K-Flock allegedly popped Oscar Hernandez after a heated exchange, but surveillance video tells a different tale. The video shows K-Flock strolling past the shop with two people. Moments later, Hernandez walks out. What happened next left Hernandez dead and K-Flock facing a murder rap. One fan replied, "I don't believe it's a clock, but when whoever walked by, he had the gun out and was looking toward the barbershop. That's why the boy walked out to see who was planning. It looked like he was checking the place out to shoot it up. Anyway, that's not self-defense." Now, two ran out of the barbershop and shot at him, and he turned around and shot him. That's self-defense. Clock's lawyer, Scott Lehman, isn't buying the police story. He's demanding answers, especially after the DA dropped a bombshell about a tip pointing to another shooter. In February 2023, the hit Clock with another blow, the Fed stepped in, hitting him and 7 others with racketeering charges. Now he's cooling his feet in federal lockup, facing life if convicted on this case. Critics argue that the aggressive nature of drill music adds to real-world violence, while fans maintain that it's a form of artistic expression reflecting harsh realities. Clock's arrest has led to greater scrutiny of the drill movement. Radio stations and streaming platforms reconsidered their approach to the genre, and despite his incarceration, Clock's music continues to gain fame with fans organizing free Clock campaigns on social media. His situation has sparked debates about the responsibility of artists in their communities and the role of music in addressing or exacerbating social problems as Clock's September 2024 trial looms. The rap world watches, will this rising star beat the case and recover his spot, or will his career end before it truly began? Only time will tell if K-Flock's next bars will be spit in the booth or behind bars. Clock was just getting started when he got locked up. However, Glock is another young rapper who couldn't seem to stay out of trouble. Glock's rise was as turbulent as a Miami storm. While he was making hits, he was also catching cases. The kid couldn't seem to stay out of cuffs, racking up charges like he was collecting Pokemon cards from 2015 to 2021. Glock N's rap sheet read like a best hits album: aggravated battery, illegal firearms, attempted murder. You name it. It seemed like every time he dropped a track, he was dropping into a police car too.
The rapper Glock 9 has been sentenced 7+ years in federal prison. Let's get into it. A known Orlando area gang member was sentenced to more than 7 years in the federal prison after pleading guilty to 3 weapons charges earlier this year.
The feds finally caught up with Glock 9 in 2021, hitting him with racketeering charges. To top it off, they nailed him for identity theft after he tried to snag some COVID assistance funds. Talk about a side job going wrong. December 2021 saw the judge drop the hammer. 7 years in federal prison. But wait, there's more. Now he's staring down the barrel of an extra 25 years for second-degree murder charges. His life in close-up is clearly from viral hits to jail visits. Glock N's story is a stark picture of how thin the line can be between rap fame and a jail cell. At just 23, this young rapper is facing the chance of spending most of his adult life behind bars, trading studio time for yard time, though Glock 9 kept getting into trouble. This made Casanova's arrest even more surprising since he was already famous. Casanova, the Brooklyn-born MC, had claimed ties to the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation gang. On December 1, 2020, the feds dropped a bombshell naming him as a leader in a RICO case involving 18 accused gang members. The charge is a laundry list of offenses from racketeering to murder, while 17 of his accused associates got scooped up. Casanova played it cool for a minute, but on December 2nd he turned himself in, facing the music head-on. Fast forward to June 27th, 2023, and the hammer came down. Casanova got 15 years and 8 months in the pen after pleading guilty to conspiracy charges. But his court drama was far from over. As for what his girlfriend said, here is what rapper Bossy Badass said in an interview.
But 2 times, he just got 15 years. His girlfriend said that she's gonna, stand by his side. Do you ever see a woman stand by a man for 15 years?
I didn't seen it happen. I done seen people say, man, my girl been down 20 years and, like that, but it's hard these days, bro. I don't see it. I would have to know what type of woman that is.
Not long after that, Casanova's name hit the news again. This time, he was on the receiving end of some prison yard justice at Essex County Correctional Facility. Internal reports paint a gruesome picture. Casanova got slashed and chased, leaving him looking like something out of a horror flick. One witness detailed it vividly.
See his face because he was saturated in blood. You couldn't see it at the time because his whole face was saturated in blood and his whole uniform was saturated in blood.
This event is just the latest in a string of violent outbursts at Essex. Since March, they've logged 17 codes. That's jail lingo for inmate on inmate or inmate on officer. Throwdown. The violence at Essex isn't new. Just yesterday, 3 inmates got convicted for a 2021 jail beating that left another inmate fighting for his life. 2 of them are now looking at attempted murder charges while Casanova's blood dries on the jail floor, and questions are swirling. How did guns slip past security? Why wasn't the unit checked after the attack? And perhaps most importantly, what's next for a rapper whose songs about street life have become a self-fulfilling prophecy? Casanova's situation has really shed light on the relationship between the music business and street life, his alleged involvement with the untouchable gorilla. Stone Nation Gang has raised questions about the authenticity expected of rappers and the potential dangers of maintaining street credibility. The RICO case against Casanova and his friends has drawn comparisons to similar high-profile cases in hip-hop, such as those involving Bobby Shmurda and 69. This has led to discussions about the FBI's focus on rap collectives and whether there's a racial component to these investigations, despite his legal problems. Casanova has kept a significant following, with fans eagerly awaiting updates on his case and potential musical releases. One thing's for sure, Casanova's trip from the streets of Brooklyn to the top of the charts has taken a detour through the federal pen. As he does his time, fans are left wondering if he'll ever make it back to the booth, or if his rap career is just another result of the street life he couldn't leave behind. Until his arrest, Casanova was climbing the ranks of the rap game. Last but not least, we have Tory Lanez, whose case became one of the most talked about events in recent hip-hop history. Tory Lanez.
A jury has found rapper Tory Lanez guilty of shooting fellow rapper Megan Thee Stallion after a 2020 house party.
Let's go to July 12, 2020. A late-night party at Kylie Jenner's Hollywood Hills home set the stage for a shocking incident that would change Lanez's life forever. As the night wound down, Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion, and a small group left in an SUV. What happened next became the subject of intense scrutiny and legal fights. Megan Thee Stallion claimed Lanez of shooting her in the foot during an argument. The hip-hop community was shaken, and social media exploded with ideas and takes. Lanez maintained his innocence, even releasing a surprise album to tell his side of the story, but the law had other plans. On December 23, 2022, a jury found Lane guilty on 3 felony charges linked to the shooting. The decision sent shockwaves through the music world on August 8, 2023. Judge David Harford dropped the hammer. Lanez was sentenced to 10 years in state jail. The once rising star now faced a decade behind bars as Lanez was moved to North Carr State Prison in Delano, California. His new mugshot told a story of its own. The blank look on his face was a stark contrast to the charismatic performer fans once knew. Despite his imprisonment, Lanez's music continues to make waves. His track, The Color Violet, found new life on TikTok, showing that even prison bars can't silence his art completely. The shooting incident involving Megan Thee Stallion sparked heated debates on social media, with fans and fellow artists taking sides. This case has highlighted the challenges women face in coming forward with allegations of abuse, especially in male-dominated industries, as Megan herself postulated that the trial and its aftermath have also raised questions about celebrity, justice, and the court of public opinion. Despite his conviction, Lanez continues to have a loyal fan base, some of whom believe in his innocence. This case has become a real catalyst for larger conversations about accountability, victim protection, and the responsibility of artists as public figures as Tory Lanez serves his sentence. The hip-hop world watches and waits. Will this be the end of his career or just an intermission? Only time will tell if the man who once told us, "I told you," has any more stories left to share. Thanks for watching. Want more crazy topics? Click the card popping up on your screen now.